Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
Glad to have you here with us on this Wednesday morning. I'm Tim Pham. Well, parts of the inland Northwest seeing some dense fog this morning.
That's right. And we could even see a chance of snow for the rest of this week.
No way.
I know it. I'm excited too.
Let's head outside to meteorologist Jeremy Legoo, who's been telling us about this. So, Jeremy, tell us a little bit more about what we have in store for today. It sounds like it's going to be pretty active.
Yeah, absolutely. It starts with fog and then transitions into some low-hanging, gloomy cloud cover. Here on the South Hill, looks like visibility down below about a mile. Over in Coeur d'Alene, you're looking at visibility a little bit better there. 2.5 miles, 4 miles in downtown, a quarter of a mile out in Airway Heights. Wenatchee at 3/4 of a mile, Walla Walla at 1/4 of a mile. For that reason, we have dense fog and freezing fog advisories. Your freezing fog advisories basically in the same spots they've been the past couple of mornings. Dense fog advisories from Spokane down to Pullman, through the Palouse, and out into parts of the Columbia Basin. That's going to be for that fog. That's going to get a little bit thicker here in the next hour. I think we're going to be in the thickest of it, and then we'll start to see it slowly dissipate in the coming hours. But this morning, we're trending just above freezing. And as we move through the day, temperatures are going to climb, but not by much. I think we make it into the mid-30s later on this afternoon, and that cloud cover is really what quells our temperatures. It's going to be a little bit warmer, but it's going to feel a lot cooler with the gloomy cloud cover and the moisture in the air. That moisture precedes an incoming storm, so we might squeeze out a couple of snowflakes later this morning, but the incoming storm is what I'm really keeping an eye on. It arrives tonight. By midnight, we're looking at snow here in Spokane, transitioning into rain by tomorrow morning. And so coming up in the full forecast, I'll walk you through just what that means and what exactly you get as we start the day.
The time now is 7:03. If you need a COVID-19 test, well, you're in luck. The White House now taking orders for free tests. And all you have to do is go to the website covidtest.gov here behind me. You'll want to type in your name, address, and email. And important to note, there is a limit of 4 kits per address, and then it ships in 7 to 12 days, and all of it is completely free. So I want to take you through exactly how this is all going to work so you know what to expect as you log on. Again, go to this website, covidtest.gov, and this is, again, where you can get the COVID test. You'll want to hit this blue button here, and it is really a simple form. It took me only about a minute or so to get through all of this. The first thing you want to do, type in your name here, and then the email. You can type in an email, but it is optional, and the reason for this is if you type that in, it will then send you notifications on when your tests ship. So your shipping address, I want to point out that I tried to send it to KREM's address we're typing in here, and it turns out they don't accept business addresses or P.O. boxes. Even though it says P.O. box here, you can't send it to a P.O. box. It has to be a home address. Once you fill out all of this information, you're going to see your order summary here. Again, it doesn't cost you anything, $0, and then you want to hit checkout now, and then it will take you to a confirmation page, just verifying one more time that it got the address correct. So we know this is a lot of information, and we know people have been calling everywhere to try and figure out how to do this, but we've made it easy for you. All you have to do is text the word test to the number 509-448-2000, and we will send a link right to your phone with step-by-step instructions. In the meantime, let's take a live look outside now of the White House right now. New this morning, the Biden administration is planning to announce that it will provide 400 million N95 masks for free to Americans. Starting late next week, they will be available to pick up at pharmacies and community health centers.
Well, now, as we see an increase in testing, there's a lot of talk about when the current surge of COVID cases in Washington will reach its peak. According to University of Washington Health Metrics, we could peak soon. However, Washington health experts say it will get worse before things get better. After the peak comes a downward trend of COVID cases as the virus starts to run out of people to infect. A UW doctor says the weeks ahead will not be easy.
After that, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's the beginning of the end. It's not the end, but it will be the beginning of the end, March, April, and we should go back to what's really normal with a virus like this virus.
The doctor also says the next 3 months will be the hardest in terms of case numbers and hospitalizations.
Schools across Washington state and the region are adapting to the latest wave of COVID cases. OMAC and Reardon school districts are online for the rest of the week. Meade School District is testing students to keep them in the classroom, but it's not without complications. Meade has been expecting a shipment of COVID-19 tests since December 10th. They finally received 10,000 of them this week. A Meade transportation employee actually had to drive all the way to Moses Lake to pick them up. The district ran out of tests last week and had to temporarily cancel sports because they had no tests.
Well, it's about half of what we were expecting, what we have ordered. Unfortunately, the Department of Health has put in this new regulation for the testing 3 times a week for these athletes. And so with that increased demand, they haven't been able to keep up with the supply of tests.
The supply of tests may only last 3 to 4 weeks. Meade School District opened up 3 locations for students to get tested to keep attending school.
It's been 2 weeks since the Freeman High School shooter pleaded guilty to murder, and we now know just how many people plan to share their victim impact statements in court. The process is expected to stretch on for several days. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley shares what we can expect.
Judge Michael Price tentatively scheduled 2 weeks worth of victim impact statements ahead of the Freeman school shooter sentencing. We'll begin to hear those statements on Monday, January 24th.
Spokane County prosecutors expect 150 people will share their statements in person or over Zoom.
I think the sooner that we can start on setting these up and using the time wisely since we have it, that would be certainly something that the state would prefer.
Judge Michael Price told attorneys he wants to be as accommodating as possible to give everyone a chance to share their statements.
This is a very flexible schedule.
The shooter pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and second-degree assault as part of a plea agreement. His sentencing is not expected to begin until March. Criminal lawyer and Gonzaga Law adjunct professor Jeffrey Feiner confirms Sharp could face between 25 years and the rest of his life in prison for the aggravated murder charge. But he says life without parole is not an option. Feiner explained that under new federal rulings, if an offender commits a crime while under the age of 18, they cannot be sentenced to life without a chance of release. Sharp was 15 when he opened fire in the hallway of Freeman High School in the fall of 2017. He killed his classmate Sam Strahan and injured 3 other students.
The schedule for the victim impact statements is expected to get finalized this Friday. We'll keep you updated on any changes. Reporting from the Spokane County Courthouse, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
It's time now for your morning rush. More news in less time.
A team of engineers and building inspectors are assessing a property in Bellevue after a house collapsed with the homeowners inside. You have to see this video. They survived, and investigators say it's still too early to determine the cause of the landslide. 15 families were evacuated from the neighborhood. About half of them have been allowed back home so far.
The Biden administration announced a new plan to combat the wildfire crisis, which aims to make some 50 million acres of forest healthier and more resilient to fires.
It's fair to say that people who know the forest know that it's a time to act for significant improvement to change the trajectory of our wildfires and its impact on people, communities, forests, and on firefighters is actually long overdue.
Washington is among the top priority states to get the new treatment.
First responders and healthcare workers, listen up. Wake Up Call is giving you free coffee until the end of this month. You can visit any of the 12 Wake Up Call coffee locations to take advantage of the offer. The coffee shop says they want to recognize our healthcare workers and communities stretched especially thin during this difficult time. If you go, you'll have to show proof of employment, and that's a look at your morning rush. Spokane Parks and Rec is giving you the chance to be involved with what the development of the next 10 years looks like.
That's right, and the first step is a survey that they actually sent out last year asking for community's input. Now, Nicole Hernandez is joining us live this morning with more on the results of that survey. Good morning.
Good morning, Channing, Tim. So bathrooms here and trash cans were definitely on the list of things people care about. Take a look. Here's a breakdown of all of the information Spokane Parks Department got from the community survey that they gave out last year. So over 3,500 people responded to that survey. And take a look. This right here is what Spokane said they care about when it comes to their parks. 70% want better trash cans, lights, signs, and bathrooms in our parks. 66% think our parks should be more welcoming and accessible. 76% are happy with how our parks are maintained. About 50% think the city should buy new land for the new parks. And 70% are on board to change parts of some parks to meadows or natural lands to be more sustainable. Now, the new master plan is going to break down what Spokane Parks is going to work on for the next 10 years. Last time we had a master plan go out to the community was before the Riverfront Park renovations. Now that huge project is done, Parks Director Garrett Jones says the city wants to work on projects the community cares about. Coming up in the next half hour, I'll be breaking down a timeline of exactly when we're going to see this master plan come out and what the master plan might look like. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
It doesn't matter where you come from, where you're at in life, anything. Anybody can sit down and play a game with anyone.
A local game store owner opens up his doors to help others and himself.
It is time for your wake-up call. Ooh, I can almost smell the deliciousness.
We can smell the deliciousness.
That is true, because we finally made popcorn here on Up with KREM for National Popcorn Day. So today we want to know, how do you like your popcorn? Do you go extra butter? Maybe add some special toppings?
I saw somebody. Caramel.
I love
caramel.
A lot
of caramel.
Love that. Somebody, what was it they put? Tabasco sauce that they put on theirs?
Feeling spicy.
Very spicy. So let us know what your toppings of choice are for popcorn. You can text us at 509-448-2000 or just use the hashtag UpWithKREM on social media.
But first, here's a live look outside. We say good morning to you inland Northwest. As we kick off this Wednesday, wake up and smile. Today is your day. Make it a good one. A big shout out to our friends watching in Post Falls, Newport, and the West Central neighborhood. Let us know where you're watching from.